All right, coaches, back at you with Thursday, the 14th whiteboard brief. When you step up to class today, be excited about what's going on because everyone's been loving the sled sprint pushes in the back lot, and then also it's a strength day. So that's on you to bring the energy. You should not be standing in front of class just reading from a whiteboard, which actually is what I'm doing right now, but it's how you deliver that that's going to kind of get the class excited to be there. So let's jump into what the whiteboard brief looks like. Gang, what is up? I'm excited to coach you today because we got some strength work, followed by some strength work, followed by some strength speed work, and it's going to be a ton of fun. We will be outside pushing some sleds, but let's get into that later. First, let's talk about your banded deadlift. If you haven't done the banded deadlift, when I get done with this, I'm going to show you how to do it. Coaches, I'm not actually going to show you how to do it. So the banded deadlift, what we're looking for is a lightweight, about 50% of your max deadlift, but we're going to add the band to it so it will feel heavier near the top of that lift. We're doing 6 sets of 3, and we want speed on the way up. So nice, good setup, deadlift up, sit it down, reset, deadlift up, and then for a third rep. You should be able to partner up with 1 or 2 other people if you have similar weights on this. Now, what we want as far as your band, if you're under 200 pounds as a max deadlift, let's just use the red band. If your deadlift is between like 200 and 450, I know it's a big range, let's use the blue band. Now, if you have a monster deadlift, 450 plus, let's go ahead and put that green band on there just because that's going to be appropriate for you. So we'll knock out 6 sets of 3 on the minute. Then when we get back to the whiteboard, coaches, I would go over. Next up, we have the Bulgarian split squat, also known as the rear foot elevated split squat. So we'll have a bench, back foot goes up on the bench. And then today, no, we're not holding the barbell here. I know we did that a few weeks ago and it was very challenging. Instead, let's hold a pair of dumbbells or kettlebells just down to the side. And then we're doing sets of 5. And it's only 3 sets of 5. So to get the most out of this, we want to go heavy because it's not a ton of volume here. So go heavy, 5 on one leg, take you about a 10-15 second breather, 5 on the other leg, and then we're gonna rest about a minute and a half. So you could have 1 or 2 other people sharing that same setup with you, and we're just gonna knock out 3 sets of that. All right, so now we're getting back to the whiteboard for the sled sprint push as well as the power cleans. All right, gang, so we've had a few different iterations of sled sprint or push all the way down and back, and then even last week we mixed in some kettlebell deadlifts with a sprint. Today is gonna be similar but different. We're actually gonna take the barbells outside. You're gonna have a barbell set up right beside your sled, kind of like last week's kettlebells. And what we're gonna have is a weight on the bar that is moderately heavy that you can nicely move through 5 in a row. As in, it's not a super wide catch it in a starfish position. You don't almost go into a squat and you can just grab it and go right into the next one. For 5 power cleans, right after you finish your 5th power clean, dump that bar on the ground, make sure it doesn't roll down the hill, and then hit your sled and you're gonna sprint your sled all the way to the opposite end. That's gonna be 100 feet. Now today we really wanted this to be an all-out sprint with no stop and break in the middle. So the downside is the sled's gonna end up on the other end. Hopefully it works out where everyone can have a partner and your partner will have their bar on the end and a sled. Now if it's perfect, then you guys have the same weight because you'll go to that end, they'll push back. Now you end up on different ends. So again, to recap, because I know that was a little bit choppy there, you'll have 5 touch and go power cleans. Drop your bar, sled sprint all the way down. And it's just a medium weight on the sled so you can actually sprint that weight. We're gonna go 1 set every 3 minutes, allowing multiple people to go within that same window on the same sled. And we're gonna do this for 5 sets. So we don't wanna go too heavy because we want maximum recovery on this. Now, in regards to the power clean, we want this to be a technically sound and a very beneficial lift. So if you struggle making thigh contact with the power clean, instead we want you to go from the hang. So just 5 hang power cleans. They're gonna go a little bit faster and that's okay. Now, if we struggle still with the power clean, maybe you're new or you just don't quite have it yet, we're instead gonna do a Russian kettlebell swing, but really heavy. Still just gonna be 5 reps, still getting the hips going, but really heavy. Sit the kettlebell down, take off on the sled. All right, guys, let's go ahead, find you a partner, grab you a bar, let's go outside, and break.